Good morning. This is Ted Adler. I'm the president of Union Street Media. I'm here with my friend and longtime client, Brian Boardman, who's the owner of Hickok Boardman here at Coldwell Banker Hickok Boardman here in Burlington. And I just want to say to start off that we did not coordinate our shirts for this call. Apparently neither of us have shaved for a couple days either, but
Yours looks better than mine. You've had more time.
Yeah, well, they started off for the ski season, and normally it would be gone by now. But I'm just sort of sitting in this attic, so I figure, what does it matter? It saves saves some time.
I'm just trying to save some money and not have to buy razors.
So I was hoping this morning, Brian, that we might be able to talk just a little bit about being a broker owner during the COVID-19 crisis. Obviously you have done a great job with Hickok Boardman over the years, and I'd love to just kind of hear your thoughts on what you've been doing, what your team's going through, what's happening.
Well, as you know, Ted, I'm a full-time agent, and I'm out in the trenches, and Leslie McKenzie, my partner, and Anne-Marie Daniels, our broker, are the ones that are really in the trenches in the office, the virtual office now, taking care of all the agents. But as an owner, Leslie and I are both, and Anne-Marie, reaching out to the agents individually. We're calling them just to check on how they're doing, whether it's personally, professionally, emotionally, and I've added in spiritually a few times. And most of them seem to be doing well. It's pretty, I guess it's expected. The younger agents that haven't experienced, 9/11 or 08 or just some of the, they've just less life experiences, are struggling a little bit more. Where are we going to end up? How are we going to get through this? And I think financially, some of them are, maybe don't have as much security. So they're struggling, but it's been really nice to reach out to the agents. We're still doing our weekly meeting. We're trying to have some normalcy. We're doing our weekly sales meeting. We're doing other meetings on Zoom to just update the agents as things evolve in the office and professionally. We're encouraging the agents to take, continuing ed courses. They're all online. And, the agents they're working on their, professional development. And a lot of them are taking time with their families but they're writing contracts. It's amazing. As you and I have talked, we are writing contracts. Again, we can't show properties, but some of these people have seen homes. They're revisiting them, or they're writing a contract subject to viewing the property in person, within 5 days of the ban being listed, being lifted.
Huh, that's interesting. So it's good that there's still some activity going on.
There is.
And it's interesting what you were saying too about using this time at home kind of to be opportunistic. The continuing education is a great, that's a great, I love that idea. I've always felt like kind of when you have to close down the factory, you have sort of two options. You can either retool it, right? Or you can just furlough everyone and, wait for the, business cycle to restart. And I'm a retooler. So that's great to hear that your team is doing stuff like that.
Well, even technically, and again, I've been taking some courses online on, again, being able to use my computer and some of my technical tools a little bit more efficiently. As you know, I'm actually able to use Zoom now, which is
congratulations.
Not the most challenging of the, but anyway, it's a great time for self-improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Professionally, personally, spiritually, right?
Have you found that, what do you think is going to happen on the other side of this? Like, are you worried about agent retention or, sort of agents sort of not coming through on this? Or do you feel like this is an opportunity within the marketplace to maybe, shed some people that shouldn't be in it? Like, what's going to think is going to sort of happen to the brokerage community broadly?
Yeah, and on the broad, I mean, personally or professionally in our own office, we have fabulous agents. They're all full-time agents. They're all really competent. We only recruit the best. So we hope we keep them all and that they are all ready to rock when this wraps up. But I do think there's always, as you say, there's always opportunity. I think There are going to be agents that can't really handle, maybe some older agents or agents that aren't on top of the technical side. They're going to be getting out of the business, or agents that have been debating, retirement or doing this part-time. I don't think it's a job you can do part-time. So I think those agents may be stepping out of the business, which is just fabulous for our agents, and it's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like, during the time that we've worked together, I mean, seeing the growth of Coldwell Banker Hickok Boardman has been super impressive. I mean, I think you guys are the largest producing firm in the Burlington area at this point.
Yeah, in the Northwest board we are. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, and it's sort of that sense of like, kind of like, you never want to waste a good crisis. What sort of, from a brokerage owner standpoint, what do you feel like when you get on the other side of this that you feel like you would want to do if you went back to, like, if tomorrow the ban is lifted and we're back at it? What would you sort of say to agents or to your in your brokerage of like, okay, let's take something from this period, but let's do something different? What would be some things that you would want to do different?
It's a good question. I probably should think more about that down the road. I think a lot of our agents will be more technically savvy and maybe working out of their homes more. I mean, they're set up. We have people, they're all linked into our office, all this, the computer system. So people are going to be able to work more from their homes more efficiently. But I'd have to sort of think about that a little bit more, to be honest. I think it's really more that the agents are going to be better educated, work more efficiently. And I think people are revisiting, quality time with their families. I mean, it's that's a really tough balance in real estate, taking that time and committing time for whether it's, again, emotional, personal time with your family, working out, exercise, all those other things that are so important to being a good agent.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, one of the things that I always sort of really respect amongst real estate brokerages and brokers is that you're always on. I mean, there's never like a sort of day off for a full-time agent. And so there's one coworker of mine who wrote a great piece about working from home, efficiently, and sort of the rhythm of getting into that. And so that's something that I've shared, and I'd be happy to share with you. But I do think that people who haven't been used to this, like, will go through this experience and then hopefully pull a couple things from it. To your point, like maybe better use of technology and not having to like physically go into the office for stuff. My feeling is that after this, like, everyone's not just going to go back to the office. Like, there's a lot of roles in different industries that are going to be way more out in the field. I think obviously real estate's always been that way. And I think that there's a lot of folks who, maybe like work in a whole host of industries that traditionally have gone into the office.
Absolutely.
Now they've been working at home for a month, and they're going to probably work at home for at least another month or two. And at the other side of that, like, they don't have to go back to the office. And so I think it's going to be really interesting in terms of how that changes the dynamic of the workplace.
But it's interesting. The other side of that, Ted, is every agent I've talked to has just said, I really miss the camaraderie of the office, the synergy in the office.
Yeah.
I miss it. I mean, I just love seeing all the agents, and I can't tell you how many times, in conversations in the office is when I've got an idea, they'll say, listen, have you seen the new house that came on the market in, Colchester or Charlotte? It's, and it tweaks me, it makes me think. I'll ask, does it have an outbuilding? Does it have great trees? For some of my clients that are very concerned about trees, grand old trees on the property. And, I may not have seen the property this other agent has, didn't work for their client. And, it gets me to jump on the phone. So I think as much as people are going to be able to be more efficient and maybe have more personal time because they can work out of their homes at some point, I think the synergy and energy that we all get in our office is exceptional. We all get along. It's everyone has said the same thing, how we're social beings. There's no doubt about it. And I think the energy, synergy that we get in our office is part of our success story.
Yeah, no, and I completely concur with that. Today has been 1 month to the day that I have not stepped foot in the Adams School, which obviously I've been going to every day, besides, vacations here or there for the last 20 years. And it's weird, right? And we're trying to sort of create some of that similar sort of spontaneous, like what I call like kitchen conversations, So I've called up a few coworkers and sort of had lunch with them over camera. My belief is that if it doesn't happen on video, it doesn't count. And I've been saying that, by the way, well before this. So my team is pretty used to me, Slack calling them. And, now at least everyone else is Slack calling each other, or Google Hangouts. Sometimes I say, I'm only in my early 40s, but I'm too old to type that much. So let's talk, right? And I just think that you're absolutely right. It's a synergy, right? When you're interacting with a team, there's a dynamic element that just doesn't happen. And so I agree. I'm 100% with you.
Our business, like yours, you can get off the phone and have the deal that fell apart, or those people you have to call. It's a seller or buyer. Something went, the deal went south. You've got to call them. It's tough stuff, and it really, you can't help but get emotionally wrapped up in this. It's a tough business sometimes, and a lot of times people are selling because of death or an illness or financial situation, and to make those calls is tough. But you can walk out in the hallway and hear that someone else put a deal together, or this couple that trying for 6 months to buy a property finally got it, or a young couple got pre-approved finally after cleaning up their credit record. You hear stuff like that, and it gets you, it just gets me energized again, and you realize why we do this, to help people get into houses.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and it is, it's why we all do what we do, right? Is because we're trying to make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've made a lot of difference around here over the years, and so thank you for that. And thanks for the time this morning. It was great to connect.
Thanks, Ted. I do have to say to my agents, though, I'm a little hurt. I have heard that there's a happy hour on Fridays at 4:00 on Zoom for the younger agents, and I guess I'm not on that list, but I'm glad they're getting together.
Good. Yeah, no, we've been doing, we do Beer 30 every Friday. It's kind of.
Can I come to your Zoom?
You can definitely come to our Zoom Beer 30. Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Thanks, Ted.
All right. Hey, thanks for the time.
Bye-bye.